Last month, I moved into my new Just Scribbles Planner. When we start a new planner, I think we always expect every page to be just perfect and for everything to just flow amazing. Unfortunately, that's not how things usually go. At least for me, there's a lot of tweaking and figuring out how does this space work? How does my brain work with this space? So I thought it might be kind of fun today to flip through the last month in my new planner and show you the things that are really working, the things I'm liking, and the things that I need to tweak a little bit and work more on. Now, overall, I'm really loving the layout of this new planner. I am not loving the paper, but we know that's going to change for next year. And her release, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it is coming up soon. And I'm hoping to grab one of her new planners. I think she's going to be using what used to be known as the Cosmo Light paper, and I've heard really great things. So I'm looking forward to that. Just kind of flipping you through. I still haven't done anything here. I haven't added anything to the yearly page. I do think I am going to come in here. I need to locate the school year calendar and make sure that I have that on here because that's going to be really important moving through the rest of the year. And if I have any dates through about April for the school year, those should go on here. I just haven't taken the time to do that yet. As far as these two pages, so I had every intention I'm going to write down what I'm organizing everything, and then I completely forgot that I had done this. So I need to figure out a way to remind myself to come back here and write the things down. I am making progress in these areas. I did get Megan and Dan's areas in the basement pretty well picked up. I'm working on another area this month. And so I want to continue to log that. I just haven't quite figured out the back and forth of it. I do want to continue with this idea. It may change for next year depending how the rest of the year goes and if I can get into a groove with this. The yearly goal stuff, this is all working really well. It's coordinating really well with my Moxie life, so I'm loving that. I did create this page as a thing I wanted to do in this quarter is focusing on my self-care and how to wind down in the evening. So I have this as a goal for one of the weeks this month. And I just wanted to give myself ideas of at the end of the day, how can I kind of wind down and take care of myself? So a lot of these are really small, like 5-minute things that I can do. The aromatherapy, the gentle stretching, a warm drink. Some of them are a little bit longer and like the coloring, AI journaling, a warm bath, ink swatching, play with stickers. So it kind of depends on what I need, but I have lots of things to draw from. And I'm really happy with the way this overall turned out. I just used some leftover stickers that I had from various shops. A lot of these came from Sadie stickers, I think. I think all the florals are from Sadie stickers, as well as a lot of the butterfly ones here. And I'm pretty sure this is from Sadie stickers. And some of these larger butterflies, these are from The Giving Girl, and this is from Paper Doll Co. And I think if I get this out today, she has her 8-year sale going on today, so you should totally check her out. I'll link her down below. And then these were just my pages that I set up for the quarter, and I think we're doing pretty good on here. Now, as far as this idea where I was going to do a line a day and track all these weekly things, again, I forgot that this page existed, so I didn't go back here. So I don't know if I'm going to morph these into something else or if I'm going to continue to try that. I think the journaling portion, I've discovered Rosebud, which is an online AI journal, and I think I'm going to continue with that, but I'm not 100% positive. And I found that the tracking things, I do all that with my Moxie life, so I don't need to track it in 2 places. So I need to think about it a little bit more. These will probably become something else. I just don't know what. And then we have these pages. I think she calls these the project pages, and I love that concept. So my idea was to put in all of my medical bills and stuff so I can get a really good idea of how much I'm spending on medical stuff. The problem is that I almost daily have like a doctor appointment between me and different family members, or a prescription that I'm picking up, or some medical bill comes in. So the combination, I didn't have a good way of putting it all in here because I definitely spent a lot more than this. And I think it would still be good to maybe do that, but I'm not sure that this is the right location for that. Maybe that's something that should be moved to these other pages. I don't know. So I'm going to be kind of experimenting a little bit with maybe a different idea for this month, and that maybe I track my fun money spends or like my sticker spends, that kind of thing in here, so I can see that instead, because that would be a little bit more incremental. So it might be easier to track in this type of area. I do think this would be good for overall themes for like my content or things like that, but I do have a full planner for my content, so I'm not using that for this. Then I have my currently inked page. This worked really well. I liked the way that this turned out. There is a little bit of a difference when you transfer into the next month, and we'll talk about that. And then this month, this was helpful to kind of just have, I could reference back to it. These were just notes about my family and things I wanted to do and help them with this month. Here was my monthly page. I did forget to go back here, so I'm working on that one, just remembering that it's here and touching base with it on a more weekly basis, like coming back here before I do my weekly spreads. It needs to be integrated into my routine though. It's something I want to keep, but I just haven't gotten the fine tuning down. I really liked the way this spread turned out. Now these stickers, along with these were all part of a Sadie Stickers subscription, or was it the subscription? It might have been a standalone kit. I can't remember now. But these are part of her decorative kit. And then I pulled in like the Dream Big. This was a Happy Planner sticker that I had. And then just some deco and things. I think most of those are from Sadie Stickers on that page. The scripts here are from Mandy Lynn Plans. And I will have links to all these shops down below for you guys, with the exception of probably Happy Planner. I don't know. We'll see. And then I have my AM and PM routine. These were things I was working on this month. These have gone pretty well. And then I had a page for safe foods. I've worked on this a little bit. I am going to continue on this. I don't know that having it in this location is maybe the best. If I were to reformat, like, this is something that I could do in these pages, or even like here might have been a better idea or something to give me a better central location, because I'm a little worried that putting it here, as the months go by, I'm not going to come back to this page. Then we have our weekly views. These are going pretty well. They're pretty standard. They're similar to what I have in my Sterling Ink or the Hobonichi Cousin. So from that aspect, they're pretty much the same. This is a Mandy Lynn Plans kit. I don't think I mentioned it, but I am on her PR team. So if you see any of these kits that you really like, I do have a discount code. I'll link her down below. It's not an affiliate link, but you can use Just 10 to get 10% off pretty much everything except the subscription kits. So there's we are with this. I also pulled in some Coffee Monster Co. stickers, which I'm loving. I thought the combination of the two for this was really nice. And overall, I was really happy with how this is going. And it also shows me that, I don't have to fill in every single spot. This is just where I'm seeing my overview for the week. And then in these next pages is where I'm going to go into more detail. These are also Mandy Lynn Plans stickers here. I think this was the monthly subscription. And so these were coordinating daily pages because I get the weekly and daily kits. And they are sized for the Hobonichi Cousin. In case you're wondering on sizing, I have modified them a little bit and I cut off, there's a little circle here that you can put your date in, but because the date's across, I felt I didn't need that. I can show you some pages where I didn't do that and you can see the difference. And essentially, I'm using these the way I always have, where I am trying to kind of brainstorm about my day. I'll brainstorm about the next day. Some days I'm not as good as I would like. I would like to use this for my meal planning and any big goals that I might need to work out for the week. And you'll see that as we go forward. So these are just kind of my daily pages. Some days are better than others. And I did block this out. This does have a little bit of information about my kids, and I wanted to keep their privacy. But otherwise, like just a general view, I'm using a lot of Coffee Monster code. This is from White Deer Stationery. I think this one was actually from Hello Petite Paper. This was just a leftover car I had. The Stressed and this are from the Sugary Gal shop, I believe. And then, of course, Coffee Monster Co. But I had a lot of fun putting this all together. These are from a shop that is no longer in existence. And because I was cutting off these little bits off of the daily pages, I did use them down here. I was going to do breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but obviously that didn't happen this day. Not every day is perfect. And the more stressed I get, the less I am in here. And especially the first couple of weeks in a new planner, I'll find that I don't always get to everything that I usually would get as I'm adjusting to that new planner. This is the following week. Now, this is a Sadie Stickers journaling kit with some additions from her weekly, like A5 wide planner that I just wanted to add in for, you know, a little bit of color. And I think I used a washi from there and that kind of thing. Again, still not quite in the groove of things, even though the format is the same. So you would think that I would just be able to jump in and like everything would go smoothly, but it doesn't always for me. Then this one is where I started to use this extra page a little bit more. This is me working out some of my weekly goals for that week and how to work with those different things. Monday I missed, Tuesday I missed, and then I was back on Wednesday and trying to jump back into things. These are all washi tapes from the Coffee Monster Co. And then I pulled in like a Tombow marker here. And then these are a combination of things. For the most part, they're from Paper Doll Co. Girls. She has various different kits that you can get. And these are like 2 different pages here. The swatches are from Mandy Lynn Plans. This was a Happy Planner sticker. And then notes was Mandy Lynn Plans. This is from a shop that no longer exists. And then I just had some miscellaneous little deco from various shops that I pulled out of my leftover sticker book. Same thing kind of here. I really liked the way these were coming together and how functional they were for me. And these come as pretty much everything on here in one sheet, which is really nice. So it works really well for me for these daily pages if you like this look. Then we went into our next week. This is Hello Petite Paper. I love the way this spread turned out. And I was trying to do a little bit more of time blocking in here. I was also going to Chicago for a couple of days, and so I wanted to signify that. I had an overall this week kind of things I wanted to do, so there was that week. And then I had an appointment with my gastro doctor, so in order to facilitate that going really well, I had some general questions I wanted to use, and then I'm trying to be a little bit more love and logic with my family to kind of set better boundaries and just be an overall better parent. And so this was me going with ChatGPT, going, okay, here are some specific things. How do I apply this with a love and logic approach? And I'm finding that really helpful is to kind of use ChatGPT almost like a personal assistant or a sounding board for different things to help me work out the logistics of things or how to handle certain situations. It's almost like having an on-call therapist to be like, okay, this is what's going on. Here's some details about my kid. And this is what I want to do. Tell me how I can do that. And so that's what's going on here. I started using, I have a bunch of Happy Planner sticker books, especially Disney ones. So I pulled in some of those for this day, plus some leftover stickers I had. And then I kind of went with that theme for most of this week. As you can tell, like usually at the beginning of the week goes really well. And then by the end of the week, I get really, really tired. And that's just because there's so much going on that I don't always get back here. So that's what happened this week. Then we have this week, this is another Mandy Lynn plans spread with mostly Coffee Monster Co. stickers. However, this one, and I think this one and the unicorn one are from Every Minute is Story, which is another shop. It's very similar in style to Coffee Monster Co. and Once More with Love. And I sometimes really like her style. And I thought it went really well with this kit, which I cannot off the top of my head remember the name of, but I absolutely love this kit that she came out with. And then I have daily spreads to kind of go with that. I think I was using leftovers from that kit to do a lot of this. And so I pulled in some leftover day headers here and was trying to kind of get a little bit more in my groove, which I think went really well overall this week. Again, Saturday and Sunday I missed. Then this is a Giving Girl kit that I pulled in, or kit it loosely. It was like one page that I'd gotten an Oops kit along with the florals. And so it was a journaling kit, and I don't know that she does those anymore. So I've had this for quite a while, and it was actually a baby themed kit. And I converted it into a more, I just didn't use a couple of elements, and I think it turned out really well. My family went on vacation starting the 30th, but I stayed home. So that's been kind of nice. I have my nephew with me, and we're just kind of doing all the things that need to get done. Then we have, this is another goal page here. So I wanted to brainstorm about creative projects I could do that weren't YouTube related, and that's what this is. This was Monday. Again, I pulled in that same Tombow. I tend to use this Tombow a lot. These were Sweet Kawaii designs. I really liked the overall theme of these, and I felt like they went really well. It was busy days, so I didn't have a ton to put down here, and I think on those days, these kits work really well for me, so I have ordered some more for kits from a $2 Tuesday, which is generally, like, these are, I think, from $2 Tuesdays. This is from her. She has a daily Hobonichi kit, and that's what this is, plus a little extra because the formatting is different because I don't have the big swatch at the bottom with this particular planner. Thursday, I was just... okay, so here's what happened. So I did all of this, I think, and then I didn't realize when I came in here to do it the next night that I hadn't moved on to the next day. So I put it here, and yeah, so that's why Friday is empty and I have more over here. Anyhow, this was Saturday, trying to figure things out. Sunday I missed. Then we have the monthly recap, and I did this again using one of those decorative kits from Sadie Stickers. I'm really liking the way that those are coming out. So I did my recap here. I do have these 3 boxes at the bottom. I need to figure those out a little bit more, and same up here. I think I'm going to use them as currently reading, favorite foods for the month, that kind of thing. And then I have my currently inked here because I don't have a blank page like I did at the first month. So we're just going to go a little bit into August here. So here is my August spread. I'm really happy with this and how it turned out. I do need to come back in here and add a few things. And I haven't done anything with these 2 pages as of yet. And then we've started into, I think this might be as far as I've gotten really, is because I'm trying to remember what today is. I know, I should know. But this is another Mandy Lynn plans kit. And I did Monday and Tuesday, obviously. Wednesday and the rest of the week has not happened. It is now Friday. I ended up going into the basement and spending several hours deep cleaning and decluttering in my basement. which ended up just kind of completely wearing me out. So yesterday was I purposely am doing nothing. Plus on Wednesday, I did have a skin biopsy done. I'll let you know about that in a week and we'll talk about it. But other than that, that's kind of where things lie. Now, things I'm loving about the planner. Loving the layout overall. I mean, I love having all the days together. I think it makes more sense. It does have the aspect of, and this is kind of a little bit of a drawback, when I have it separated by the dailies and weeklies in different sections, I have less issues with stickers actually causing any kind of bumps. When they're all together, it chunks up a little differently, and that's just a minor adjustment. Pencil board fixes it, no big deal. But I have noticed that a couple of times so far. We'll see how it goes for the rest of the year. But overall, I like having everything together. I like just the general format. I have come into a couple of just minor critiques that occasionally the grid doesn't feel quite accurate, and that I kind of wish that the portions were a little bit different. Like here, the fact that our line doesn't line up with our grid kind of, I'll bring it in closer so you can see, but there is a light line that's just slightly off from your dividing line. And I don't know why, but sometimes that bothers me because I want it to be like perfectly aligned. But that's very nitpicky, and it's not something that is overall gonna bother me. It only bothers me when I'm writing sometimes. The paper quality, as we know, it's a Tomo River paper from this year, and it's really kind of annoying with the bleed through. I have had, I think, a little bit more issues in here with the bleed through and the ghosting that I did in my Hobonichi Cousin. And the feathering is overall, I think, worse in here than it has been in my Cousin. But I'm not 100% positive on that because it all depended on the page and the Cousin. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to the paper change for next year. I know this isn't going to be a permanent issue. I need to figure out a way to come back to these pages. I like the fact that we have them. I just need to remember that they're there. I like this aspect, and I think once I put in the kids stuff, this is actually going to work a lot better than the layout that I have in my Hobonichi Cousin. I love having the goal pages that she's put in and some of those extra pages at the beginning of the month, like this page for my dashboard, and having these 2 blank pages that I could convert into anything I wanted to, plus that recap page. I think that works really well for me. I love having this blank page at the beginning of the week to kind of brainstorm things or work on specific things, that type of deal. And I think it's super useful to have that. I could use it for my content planning or project planning if I really wanted to. I don't know. I have very few complaints with the format. I think it's going to work really well for me, and I'm enjoying it. I have found that the paper is a little bit easier to accidentally cut through than my previous planners. And I don't know if this is a slightly thinner paper than my Cousin or the Sterling ink. It might be. I have to check that. So anyhow, that's my overall views on it. Let me know, what are you guys thinking of? Like, did you switch planners at the half-year mark? Is that going well? Do you have any hiccups that you're really struggling with? Things that might be helpful for me to address for you guys, because I'd be happy to do that, even though, everybody's planner style is going to be unique to them. Also, I am going to be getting back into my Plan With Me's. It might not happen until the school year starts, because until my kids are back in school, the chaos that ensues has made it a little harder to get things done and record. I've had a little bit of a struggle this last week just because I've been a little down, but I'm getting back into my groove. I I had some exhaustion issues and spent a couple days just sleeping. So I think I'm back in my groove though, and we're moving forward. So let me know if there's content you guys would really appreciate seeing. That's all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, that it was helpful. Until next time, I'll see you real soon.